Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stacy Van Dyke. As storms have moved into the valley on this first alert weather day, our team is watching river levels. Here's a look at Red River at Lindenwood Park, and behind me here you're looking live at the Bald Hill Dam in Valley City. We have a crew there and we'll continue our coverage all throughout the evening. But right now, let's go over to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for what we can expect this weekend. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. Let's take a look at what we have going on. It's soggy across the valley and some of us have gotten quite a bit of rain already. So we're going to look at where the rain's fallen. We're going to look at that active radar and we're going to look at what we're expecting to be ongoing. Now, this was a forecast from yesterday. It's pretty spot on. Most of eastern North Dakota is seeing between 1 and 3+ inches of rain as we go into your Sunday. This is through Saturday night into Sunday morning. Notice the lesser amounts in blue there out in parts of Lakes Country with an area of enhanced rainfall potential in northwest Minnesota as well. Here is a look at what's going on right now as far as radar estimates of what's fallen already. And this has been the target area, eastern North Dakota. We're talking about Ashley and Wishick and the James River Valley south of Jamestown, where you see the yellows. Radar estimates between 1 and 3 inches of rain already. So that southern James River Valley could be starting to see some river response from the rain. 1 to 2 inch estimates of rainfall from Oaks right through Valley City and the Cheyenne River Valley, and that's pushing up towards Cooperstown as well. Lower amounts in the blue totaling upwards of around 1/2 inch to 1/3 inch in these locations. So here's that batch of heavy rain that made its way through the Cheyenne River Valley. That's heading up towards Walhalla and that Pembina River near Netchie, as well as the Devil's Lake Basin with all of the coulees there taking place. A lot of heavy rain. This enhanced area of rain is heading right into the Norman County area, Polk County, and it's going to head over the Red Lake River Basin as well as we head into the next couple of hours. So this is heading into Red Lake Falls right now and just off to the east of Crookston. But again, that water that falls here will come through Crookston and we'll have to keep our eyes on it. Rainfall rates of up to 1 inch per hour taking place right now. Here's the rivers responding already. Remember, we told you, here it goes on its way up at Valley City a little bit. It's a sharp response to the heavy rain that happened there. We're expecting a slow trajectory on the main stem red. It'll take this river water a while to get to the red, but we will see an expanse of overland flooding in these areas near Oslo in all likelihood as you pick up more rain. Washed out roads are going to be possible. So for travelers, check and check often. And also another crest is likely on many rivers, and we're starting to see that in the river level forecast now from the National Weather Service. Temperatures in the 50s, rain chances all night and all day tomorrow. It's not going to rain heavy all day, everywhere, all the time. I'll have the latest in your hour-by-hour forecast, Stacy, here in just a moment.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. New for you here at 4, the West Fargo Fire Department spent the afternoon putting out a house fire in the rain. That happened just after 12:30 on 1st Avenue Northwest. Valley News Team's Bree Bolin was doing a ride along with the fire department when that call came in. Fire crews say no one was home at the time. A dog that was found inside is safe. Firefighters believe the fire was caused by heat lamps for turtles. The turtles did not survive. New information on a story we've been following since January. We're now learning that a staff member at Ben Franklin Middle School in Fargo was fired for what school officials say was an inappropriate relationship with a student. The mother of that student contacted our whistleblower hotline, and today we obtained the personnel file for Ruthie Carlson. She was a lunchroom supervisor at the middle school. Her termination letter says she admitted to appearing in a Snapchat video with a student. The school's investigation found her actions violated several district policies, including engaging in immoral conduct, associating with a student in an activity that could be considered sexually suggestive, or dating a student enrolled in the district. Carlson was fired in December 2021. The student's mother tells us she'd been working with the Fargo Police Department in hopes of filing charges. According to court records, no charges have been filed. Police are looking for 2 suspects, and 1 juvenile has been charged after a car crash in South Fargo. That happened around 9:30 last night in the 1100 block of 4th Avenue South. When officers arrived, 3 people were seen leaving the area. Police identified the crashed car as stolen from a report taken earlier in the day. Fargo police arrested 1 juvenile male who's being charged with refusal to halt. Officials say he's been uncooperative in identifying the other people involved. Police are still searching for those 2 other suspects. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is investigating an officer-involved shooting involving an Otter Tail County deputy and a Minnesota State trooper last night near Bolus in Morrison County. Officials say a drug task force unit attempted to pull over a vehicle during a traffic stop. That's when the trooper and deputy ended up firing their weapons into a car. One man is dead. The deputy who responded is said to be okay. New information on a major fire at a Dilworth apartment complex. The woman accused of starting it is out on bail. Court documents say 32-year-old Brianna Page was arrested for felony arson charges. She's already bailed out after a judge set her bail at $0 with several conditions. Page is accused of setting a set of garages at that apartment complex on fire back in November, causing $85,000 in damages. She's charged with both second and third degree arson, as well as a felony count of negligent fires. Her next hearing is in June. If convicted, she could spend up to 10 years in prison. A former U.S. Marine and young father could be the first American killed in action while fighting in Ukraine, according to his family. So far, his death has not been confirmed by U.S. officials. Meanwhile, another journalist was killed after Russian rockets struck residential buildings overnight. Skylar Henry has more from the White House as the Biden administration pushes Congress to pass more legislation for Ukraine aid.
The family of 22-year-old Marine veteran Willie Joseph Cancel says he was killed while fighting along with international forces in Ukraine. He's believed to have joined the conflict in March. Cancel leaves behind a wife and an infant son.
Our hearts go out to his family and loved ones. We don't have official confirmation, even though we've seen the reports.
This is the aftermath of Russian strikes on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, which bombarded the city during the UN Secretary General's visit. The Kremlin says the target was a missile factory. But a journalist with the U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe, seen here in a recent selfie video, was killed by airstrikes in her apartment across the street from where the UN Secretary General was staying. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials say they're trying to rescue civilians holed up in a besieged steel plant in Mariupol.
It's difficult to look at some of the images and imagine that any well-thinking, serious, mature leader would do that.
Friday, Ukraine's president tweeted his thanks to the U.S. for its support of his country. One day after President Biden called on Congress to approve an additional $33 billion in Ukraine aid.
We hope to, as soon as possible, pass that legislation.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's all for linking Ukraine aid together with COVID funding in one bill, if necessary. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The president is expected to soon sign the Lend-Lease Act after the House issued final passage Thursday. That bill will allow the U.S. to lend or lease military supplies and weapons to Ukraine. According to newly released documents, a whistleblower complained to the FDA about safety concerns months before infant formula was taken off store shelves. The recall included several types of Similac, Alimentum, and Elecare products that were recalled in February, though the complaint was sent in October. In that time, multiple babies got a rare and serious bacterial infection after drinking the formula. 2 children died. The complaint says the employee was fired for raising safety concerns. Abbott now says it's cooperating with the FDA's investigation. Mental Health Awareness Month kicks off this weekend. Between the pandemic and challenges of school and life, there's a mental health crisis among children in the U.S. Michael George tells us why doctors say it's something parents need to discuss with their kids.
Nier Bory Thomas makes it a priority to talk with her children about their thoughts and feelings. She asked them to say a highlight and lowlight of their day.
I started having those conversations at night with both my son and daughter, and I found that asking those specific questions got a little bit more out of him versus, yes, Mommy, it was a fine day.
A survey from Nationwide Children's On Our Sleeves program shows most parents know it's important to talk to children about mental health, but more than half need help knowing how to start the conversation. Pediatric psychologist Dr. Ariana Howitt directs On Our Sleeves. Its mission, break the stigma and provide resources for families. This month, they're launching Operation Conversation.
It's all about teaching adults how to have conversations with children. conversations in general, building the habit, but also conversations that are difficult. So how to talk about their mental health if you're worried about them, how to talk about current events.
On Our Sleeves has tips to start the conversation and keep it going, and for problem solving and giving advice to kids.
Every day, a time when there's low distractions, maybe dinner time, in the car ride, at bedtime, asking open-ended questions about a child's day. What was the best part of your day? Is there something bothering you right now?
Senier says her family has had to tackle difficult conversations, from the pandemic to racism.
When you are trying to stay healthy, you have to take care of your heart. And you also have to take care of your brain and your mental health.
She also models for her children it's okay to express emotions. Michael George, CBS News.